The stars were quiet as the Moraxis fleet moved through space. Commander Shalak stood on the bridge of his warship, his scaled skin reflecting the dim light. His species had ruled the Andromeda galaxy for thousands of years. They had conquered over 30 different alien races across 200 star systems. No one could stop them. Their natural strength, tough armor-like skin, and pack hunting skills made them the perfect warriors. "Commander, we have found signals coming from that spiral arm," said his second-in-command, pointing to a screen showing the Milky Way galaxy. Shalak's mouth formed what passed for a smile among his kind. "A new world to add to our empire. Prepare a small fleet. I will lead it myself." He had done this 17 times before. Each time was the same. Find a new world, show them Moraxis power, and watch them surrender. Those who fought were crushed. It was the way of nature. The strong ruled the weak. On Earth, Samantha Miller stared at her computer screen in NASA's main control room. The data didn't make sense. "Dr. Wright, could you look at this?" She called to her boss. "These readings show something big moving toward our solar system." Alan Wright looked tired as he walked over. He'd been working for 20 hours straight and wanted to go home. "It's probably just a software error, Sam. I've checked 3 times, she said. "And look, other stations around the world are seeing the same thing." Dr. Wright's face went pale as he studied the screen. "Call the director. Now." Within hours, leaders from around the world gathered in an emergency United Nations meeting. The screen showed clear images of large ships entering the outer solar system. "They're not hiding," said General Paul Rogers. "They want us to see them coming." 3 days later, a single ship broke away from the alien fleet and headed directly toward Earth. It landed in an open field outside Denver, Colorado. Army vehicles surrounded the area. Scientists, soldiers, and government officials waited nervously. When the ship opened, humans got their first look at the Moraxis. They stood nearly 8 feet tall, with powerful limbs and thick, leathery skin. Their eyes were those of hunters, focused, calculating, missing nothing. The lead alien stepped forward. A translator device on his chest spoke in a flat, mechanical voice. "I am Ambassador Krell of the Moraxis Empire. We claim this world as our territory. Your species will serve us or be removed." Carol Bennett, a diplomat chosen to speak for humanity, stepped forward. She was a small woman with gray hair, but she showed no fear. "Earth welcomes peaceful visitors, but we are not available for conquest," she said calmly. "We propose friendship and trade instead." The alien made a sound that might have been laughter. "You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. We have conquered species far more advanced than yours. You have 2 Earth days to surrender control of your governments to Moraxis authority." Carol stood her ground. "And if we refuse, then we will demonstrate our power. Your largest cities will be destroyed first. Those who survive will understand the futility of resistance." The alien turned and walked back to his ship without waiting for a response. As the ship took off, General Rogers approached Carol. "Can we fight them?" "We have to try," she said. "Get me the president. We need to prepare everyone." Back on his command ship, Shalak listened to Ambassador Krell's report. "They refused our terms?" Shalak asked, surprised. "Yes, Commander. They speak of friendship and trade, as if they were our equals." Shalak looked at the blue planet on his view screen. "They will learn their place. Prepare the attack ships. Target their major population centers: New York, Beijing, London. Once they see their greatest cities fall, they will understand what it means to face the Moraxis." "Should we scan their defenses more carefully first?" asked his tactical officer. "Our initial readings show some unusual." "Unnecessary," Shalak interrupted. "They are primitive. Their weapons will be useless against our shields." He had seen this pattern many times before. Show strength, crush resistance, accept surrender. It was always the same. But as his ships prepared for attack, Shalek didn't know that humans were different from any species the Moraxis had ever encountered. The predators of the galaxy were about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous creature isn't the one with the sharpest claws, but the one that never stops adapting. The Moraxis attack began at dawn. Their ships appeared over major cities around the world, just as Commander Shalek had planned. In New York, London, and Beijing, people looked up to see massive dark shapes blocking the sun. "Begin the demonstration," Shalek ordered from his command ship. "Show these humans the price of defiance." The first energy beams struck toward Earth's surface. Shalek expected to see buildings crumble and fires spread. Instead, something strange happened. Many of the beams were scattered by invisible shields. Others missed their targets completely as defense systems interfered with Moraxis targeting. "What is happening?" Shalek demanded. His tactical officer looked confused. "Commander, the humans have active defense systems we did not detect. They are shooting down our smaller ships with missiles." On the main screen, Shalek watched as 3 Moraxis attack ships spiraled toward the ground, trailing smoke. This had never happened before. Not in 17 conquests. "Impossible," he growled. "They are primitives." In an underground command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Major Frank Dawson watched the battle unfold on large screens. Around him, military personnel from 12 countries worked together, coordinating Earth's defense. "The missile defense systems are working better than expected," said his assistant. "Their ships weren't prepared for our response." Frank nodded. "They thought we would panic. They didn't expect us to be ready." He pointed to a pattern on the screen. "Look at how they attack. Always the same formation, always the same approach. They've never needed to change their tactics before." In another part of the facility, Dr. Olivia Martinez studied material recovered from a downed alien ship. Under her microscope, she examined tissue samples from a dead Moraxis pilot. "This is remarkable," she said to her team. "Their cellular structure is completely different from ours, but there's something missing." She looked up with excitement in her eyes. "They have almost no immune system. They've evolved in an environment with very few diseases." She reached for her phone. "Get me Major Dawson. I think I've found a weakness." In orbit above Earth, Shalek ordered his remaining ships to retreat. "We will regroup and return with more firepower," he told his officers. His pride was wounded. His perfect record was now stained with failure. As the Moraxis fleet moved away from Earth, Shalek paced on his bridge. "How did they resist us? Their technology should be centuries behind ours." His science officer spoke carefully. "Commander, our scans show they have been adapting our own technology. The weapons they used against our second wave were not the same as those they used against the first." Shalek stopped pacing. "That's not possible. No species can adapt that quickly." But the evidence was clear. The humans had studied the Moraxis attacks and changed their defenses in a matter of hours. It was unlike anything the Moraxis had ever seen. Back on Earth, world leaders gathered to discuss the victory. It was small, but important. The Moraxis had been driven back. "They'll return," Carol Bennett warned the assembly. "And next time, they'll bring more ships." Major Dawson agreed. "We've bought ourselves some time, but we need to prepare for a bigger fight." Dr. Martinez shared her discovery about the Moraxis immune system. They've never been exposed to Earth bacteria or viruses. Their bodies have no defense against them. "Are you suggesting biological warfare?" someone asked. "Not to kill them," Martinez explained, "but we could develop something that would make them sick. Sick enough that they couldn't fight effectively. Something harmless to humans, but debilitating to them." In NASA's main facility, Samantha Miller led a team studying the damaged alien ships that had crashed to Earth. "Their technology isn't as advanced as we thought," she told her colleagues. "They've relied on their natural advantages for so long that they haven't needed to innovate. We can learn from this." She pointed to the engine components. "We could adapt this to our own ships. We could take the fight to them." Around the world, humans did what they had always done when faced with a threat. They adapted, innovated, and prepared. The Moraxis thought the battle was paused, but for humans, it had only just begun. In deep space, Commander Shalek sent a message to the Moraxis homeworld. "We have encountered unexpected resistance. Request reinforcements." He did not mention his defeat. He could not bring himself to admit that the primitives had driven him back. Next time, he would crush them completely. What he didn't understand was that humans had spent their entire evolutionary history overcoming stronger predators through intelligence and cooperation. The Moraxis were about to learn a painful lesson about underestimating their prey. 6 weeks passed. On Earth, people worked day and night to prepare. They knew the Moraxis would return, and next time with more ships and weapons. In a laboratory beneath Chicago, Dr. Olivia Martinez checked her latest test results. She hadn't slept in 30 hours, but excitement kept her awake. "We've done it," she told her team, pointing to the screen. "This bacteria strain affects their respiratory system, but is completely harmless to humans and Earth animals." Her assistant looked doubtful. "But how do we deploy it against their ships?" "That's where the military comes in," Olivia said. "Major Dawson has been waiting for this." Around the world, new weapons took shape. Scientists and engineers from different countries shared their ideas, improving on each other's work. They studied the Moraxis ships that had crashed and learned how their technology worked. In an underground hangar, Major Frank Dawson inspected the new missiles. "These will penetrate their shields?" he asked. The engineer nodded. "Yes, sir. We discovered the frequency their shields operate on. These missiles adjust to match it. Their shields will be useless." Major Dawson smiled. "Good. And they'll carry Dr. Martinez's bacterial agent." "Yes, sir. Once inside their ships, the missiles will release the bacteria into their air systems." In orbit around Mars, Commander Shalek watched as his reinforcements arrived. The Moraxis High Command had sent 50 more warships, 5 times the size of his original fleet. "This time, we will crush them completely," he told his officers. "No more demonstrations. We attack with full force." His second-in-command looked nervous. "Commander, should we not study their defenses more carefully first? They surprised us before." Shalek growled. "They got lucky. No primitive species can stand against our full might." His pride was still wounded from the first defeat. He needed this victory. The Moraxis fleet approached Earth 3 days later. Humans around the world watched the skies, afraid but ready. In the command center, Major Dawson gave the order. "Launch Defense System Alpha." Across Earth, hidden missile batteries fired their first volley. The new missiles moved in strange patterns, making them hard to track. The Moraxis ships tried to shoot them down but missed many. When the missiles hit the alien ships, they didn't explode with fire. Instead, they pierced the hulls and released clouds of invisible bacteria inside. Commander Shalek was confused. "What kind of weapons are these? They do no damage." Then he heard coughing. All around the bridge, his officers struggled to breathe. Their skin turned pale, and some fell to their knees. "What is happening?" Shalek demanded, feeling his own throat tighten. On Earth, Samantha Miller tracked the Moraxis fleet from NASA's control room. "It's working," she said as she watched the alien ships slow and drift out of formation. "Their crews are being incapacitated." Major Dawson nodded. "Launch Defense System Beta." The second wave of missiles streaked toward the disorganized alien fleet. These were conventional weapons, targeting engines and weapon systems. Around the world, people cheered as they watched the mighty Moraxis ships, now disabled and drifting, being captured by Earth's newly built space vessels. Commander Shalek could barely stand. His vision blurred as humans in sealed suits boarded his ship. This couldn't be happening. The Moraxis were the strongest species in the galaxy. How could these primitive humans defeat them? As he collapsed to the floor, his last conscious thought was to send an emergency signal to the Moraxis homeworld. His fleet had been defeated not by superior strength, but by bacteria, tiny organisms he couldn't even see. In the White House, Carol Bennett met with world leaders. "We've won this battle," she said, "but the war has just begun." Salak managed to send a distress signal. "The entire Moraxis Empire now knows about us." "How long do we have?" asked the president. "Months, maybe a year before their main fleet arrives," Carol replied. "We need to be ready." Dr. Martinez joined the meeting. "We've captured hundreds of Moraxis soldiers. They're recovering from the bacterial infection. We could learn more about them, maybe even communicate." Major Dawson nodded. "And we have their ships now. Samantha's team is already studying how they work. Maybe we can build our own fleet." For the first time in Moraxis history, they had faced a species that didn't fight the way they expected. Humans didn't try to match the alien strength. Instead, they found a weakness and exploited it. The predators of the galaxy had just learned that sometimes the most dangerous prey is the one that thinks differently. 6 months passed since the humans defeated the second Moraxis attack. In that time, Earth changed dramatically. Scientists and engineers from around the world worked together, studying the captured alien ships and adapting their technology. In orbit above Earth, a new fleet of 20 ships took shape. They were built with a mix of human and Moraxis technology. They weren't as large as the alien vessels, but they were faster and more adaptable. Captain Gregory Bell stood on the bridge of the U.S. Defiant, Earth's first true deep space warship. At 42, he had spent most of his life in the Navy before being chosen to lead humanity's first space fleet. "All systems are operational, Captain," reported his first officer. "The fleet is ready." Gregory nodded. "Good. The early warning stations have detected the Moraxis main battle fleet. We have 2 weeks before they reach our solar system." In the ship's laboratory, Dr. Olivia Martinez made final adjustments to her biological agent. "This version is even more effective than what we used before," she told Captain Bell. "It works faster and will spread through their ventilation systems in minutes." "Will it kill them?" Gregory asked. "No. It will just make them unable to fight. We're not murderers, Captain. We're defenders." At a United Nations emergency meeting, Major Frank Dawson presented their plan. "We can't wait for them to reach Earth," he explained to the world leaders. "Their main battle fleet is too large. Our best chance is to intercept them here." He pointed to a spot far beyond Pluto's orbit. "Captain Bell will lead our fleet to engage them before they can organize their attack. We'll use Dr. Martinez's biological agent and unconventional tactics to confuse and disable their ships." Carol Bennett, now serving as Earth's chief diplomat, spoke up. "Remember, our goal isn't to destroy them completely. We need to demonstrate that attacking Earth is too costly, that peace is their better option." Deep in space, High Commander Vrex led the largest Moraxis fleet ever assembled. Over 300 warships moved toward the human world, carrying enough firepower to reduce the entire planet to ash. "These humans have humiliated our kind twice," Vrex told his commanders. "No species has ever defeated a Moraxis fleet, let alone captured our warriors. This insult cannot stand." His tactical officer approached with a report. "Commander, our scouts have detected a small group of ships moving toward us. They appear to be using our technology." Vrex laughed. "The humans think they can fight us with stolen ships. They will learn how outmatched they truly are." Captain Bell studied the massive Moraxis fleet on his view screen. His 20 ships looked tiny compared to the alien armada. "They've spotted us," his sensor officer reported. "Good," Bell replied. "That's part of the plan. All ships, execute pattern Omega. Deploy decoys." The human fleet suddenly split apart, moving in seemingly random directions. At the same time, they launched dozens of small unmanned ships that gave off the same energy signatures as their vessels. On the Moraxis command ship, Vrex watched in confusion. What are they doing? Their formation makes no sense. The human ships darted in and out of an asteroid field, making them difficult to track. The Moraxis fleet fired at targets that turned out to be decoys, wasting their energy weapons. They fight without honor. Vrex shouted. Face us directly, cowards. But the humans had no intention of fighting fairly. They used the asteroids as cover, striking quickly at the edges of the Moraxis formation, and then retreating. Captain Bell saw his opportunity when the Moraxis ships began to break formation to chase the human vessels. They're separating, just as we predicted, he told his crew. All ships target their command vessels. Launch the biological payload. The U.S. Defiant and 2 other ships slipped past the Moraxis front line. They fired special missiles containing Dr. Martinez's bacteria directly at the ventilation systems of the 5 largest alien ships. Within minutes, alarms blared across the Moraxis fleet as their commanders and crew began collapsing at their posts. Their ships drifted out of formation, weapons going silent. High Commander Vrex struggled to breathe as the bacteria filled his lungs. Impossible, he gasped, watching humans in protective suits board his ship. We are the apex predators of the galaxy. How can these creatures defeat us? As darkness closed in around him, Vrex sent one final message to the Moraxis homeworld. Beware the humans. They do not fight like any species we have ever known. Captain Gregory Bell led the boarding party onto the Moraxis command ship. The massive vessel dwarfed even the U.S. Defiant. Inside, they found alien crew members struggling to breathe, their once mighty bodies weakened by Dr. Martinez's biological agent. Secure the bridge, Gregory ordered his team. Find their leader. They discovered High Commander Vrex slumped in his command chair, barely conscious. Unlike Captain Bell's previous military missions, his orders weren't to kill the enemy, but to capture and treat them. Get medical teams over here, he ordered through his radio. And tell Dr. Martinez we need her expertise. Within hours, the human forces had secured the 5 largest Moraxis ships and began treating the aliens. The rest of the Moraxis fleet, seeing their leaders captured and their systems failing, retreated in disarray. 2 weeks later, High Commander Vrex woke up in a medical facility on Earth. The room was specially designed to match the atmosphere and gravity of his homeworld. He expected to be in a prison cell, or dead. Instead, he found himself receiving medical care. A human female entered his room. He recognized her from the reports. Carol Bennett, the one who had first refused Moraxis' demands for surrender. High Commander, she said through a translator, I'm glad to see you recovering. Vrex growled. Why am I alive? Why have you not killed me? Carol sat down across from him. That's not how we do things, Commander. We defended ourselves, yes, but we're not interested in extermination. I do not understand, Vrex said. In war, the victor kills the defeated. This is the natural order. Perhaps for the Moraxis, Carol replied. But humans evolved differently. We survived not by being the strongest, but by working together and adapting. She gestured to a screen on the wall. We could have destroyed your entire fleet. Instead, we disabled your ships and captured your crews. Most are already recovering, just like you. Vrex struggled with this concept. In Moraxis culture, showing mercy was considered weakness. Yet these humans had decisively defeated them, and then saved their lives. It made no sense to him. During his recovery, Vrex was given materials about human history. At first, he refused to look at them, but boredom eventually won out. What he learned stunned him. Humans had never been apex predators on their own world. They had evolved as relatively weak creatures who survived through cooperation, tool use, and adaptability. They had faced extinction multiple times, but always found a way to survive. One day, Dr. Olivia Martinez visited him. She was the one who created the biological agent that had defeated his fleet. Why did you not make it lethal? Vrex asked her. You could have killed us all. Because that's not the point, she explained. We don't want to destroy the Moraxis. We just want to live in peace. Peace, Vrex repeated the unfamiliar concept. My people have known only conquest for thousands of years. Perhaps it's time for something new, Olivia suggested. Meanwhile, Earth prepared for the inevitable response from the Moraxis Empire. Using the captured communication systems, they sent messages to all worlds under Moraxis control. The messages included videos of the recent battle, along with offers of alliance and cooperation. Many of the conquered species watched in amazement as the footage showed the mighty Moraxis fleet defeated by a handful of human ships. Captain Bell, now promoted to admiral, oversaw the expansion of Earth's defensive fleet. "The Moraxis will come back," he told his officers, "but next time we'll be even better prepared." Carol Bennett worked with a team of diplomats to establish communication protocols with the Moraxis homeworld. "We need to show them that peace is possible," she said, "that there's a better way than endless conquest." In his medical room, Vrex watched Earth's cities through his window. He saw people of different colors and backgrounds working together, building and creating rather than conquering. For the first time in his life, the High Commander of the Moraxis Empire wondered if there might be another path for his people. "These humans," he thought, "they are not strong in body, but their minds and their unity make them formidable in ways we never imagined." News of the Moraxis defeat spread quickly across their vast empire. For the first time in their history, the mighty predators had not only been beaten but captured. The effect was immediate and dramatic. On the planet Neeler, the blue-skinned natives who had lived under Moraxis rule for 3 centuries saw the videos of human victory and began to question their masters. Similar uprisings started on dozens of worlds as subject species realized the Moraxis were not invincible after all. On the Moraxis homeworld, the ruling council gathered in their ancient meeting chamber. The walls were decorated with trophies from hundreds of conquered worlds. High Counselor Draz, oldest and most respected of the ruling body, looked at the empty seat where Vrex should have been. 3 fleets defeated," he said, his voice heavy with concern. "Our greatest commander captured. This has never happened before." A younger council member named Krell pounded the table. "We must send our entire military. Burn their world to ash. Show the galaxy what happens to those who defy us." Others nodded in agreement, but Draz raised his hand for silence. "I have studied the reports from the captured ship's data recorders. These humans fight unlike any species we have encountered." He activated a holographic display showing the recent battle. "See how they use deception and adaptation rather than direct force. They target weaknesses rather than trying to overpower us." Another counselor scoffed. "They are physically weak. Their only advantage is trickery. And yet they defeated our best forces 3 times, Draz reminded him, "while rebellion spread across our territories." Draz returned to his private chambers after the meeting. There, he reviewed more information about humans that had been gathered before the defeats. He learned how they had evolved on a planet filled with dangers, where they had never been the strongest creatures but had survived through intelligence and cooperation. "Fascinating," he muttered. "We evolved to be predators. They evolved to overcome predators." Meanwhile, Earth's diplomatic corps established communication with several worlds under Moraxis rule. Linda Patterson, a skilled negotiator, led these sensitive talks from a space station near Jupiter. "We offer alliance, not conquest," she told representatives from 12 different alien species. "Humanity wants partners, not subjects." Many were suspicious at first, having known only Moraxis domination for generations. But the evidence of human mercy toward captured Moraxis warriors convinced them that these newcomers were different. Admiral Bell, commanding Earth's expanded fleet, executed a bold strategy. Instead of waiting for the Moraxis to regroup, he led rapid strikes against key military installations throughout their territory. Each attack followed the same pattern: disable rather than destroy, demonstrate tactical superiority, and withdraw before reinforcements arrived. After each strike, the humans left behind communication devices containing messages of cooperation and peace. "We could destroy these bases," Bell explained to his officers. "But that would make us conquerors, just like them. Instead, we show them that their way of war doesn't work against us." On the Moraxis homeworld, High Counselor Draz watched reports of these precise strikes with growing concern. Their mighty empire, built on biological superiority and fear, was facing an enemy that couldn't be intimidated or overpowered. "They attack our military but spare our civilians," he noted. "They disable rather than destroy. What kind of warriors are these?" He called an emergency meeting of the full council. "Our traditional methods are failing," he told the assembled leaders. "For thousands of years, we have conquered through superior strength. Now we face a species that doesn't try to match our strength but finds ways around it." "What do you suggest?" asked an older counselor. Draz took a deep breath. What he was about to propose went against everything Morax's culture stood for. "I suggest we listen to what these humans have to say. For the first time, we must consider negotiation." The council chamber erupted in angry shouts, but as the arguments raged, many noticed something unusual. High Counselor Draz, known for his wisdom, was smiling slightly. Perhaps he had seen something in these strange humans that the others had missed. A better way forward than endless conquest. 2 years after first contact, a delegation from Earth arrived at the Moraxis homeworld. The massive planet, with its heavy gravity and thick atmosphere, had produced the strongest natural warriors in the known galaxy. No human had ever set foot there before. Carol Bennett led the Earth delegation. Now serving as Earth's ambassador to galactic affairs, she had come a long way from that first tense meeting outside Denver. With her were Admiral Bell, Dr. Martins, and representatives from 27 formerly subjugated alien species who had joined the human alliance. Their ship landed at the ancient Hall of Victories, a symbolic location where the Moraxis had traditionally celebrated their conquests. The building was larger than any structure on Earth, with ceilings that soared hundreds of feet high to accommodate the massive statues of Moraxis war heroes. High Counselor Draz waited to greet them. Over the past 2 years, he had gradually shifted Moraxis society away from its focus on conquest, not an easy task for a species that had defined itself by domination for thousands of years. "Welcome to Moraxis Prime," Draz said as the humans and their allies approached. "Never before have we welcomed visitors as equals. This is a historic day." Carol stepped forward. "We come in peace and friendship. The time for war is behind us." In the Great Council chamber, leaders from across the galaxy gathered to sign the agreement that would establish the Galactic Cooperative. Under its terms, the Moraxis would release all subject worlds and acknowledge their sovereignty. In return, they would receive access to human medical advances and technology. "We were the apex predators of 2 galaxies," Draz admitted in his opening speech. "We never needed to change or adapt. Our strength was enough. But the humans showed us the limitations of relying solely on strength." He gestured to the Earth delegation. "These beings never evolved to be the strongest. On their world, they were surrounded by dangers. They survived not by overpowering their predators, but by outsmarting them." The Moraxis Council members listened with mixed reactions. Some still resented the humans for their defeats, but others had come to respect their different approach to survival. As the ceremony proceeded, Dr. Martins met with Moraxis scientists. "We've developed medical treatments that can help your people resist diseases," she explained. "And we found ways to enhance your natural abilities through technology rather than conquest." In another part of the hall, Samantha Miller, now leading Earth's interspecies engineering program, showed Moraxis engineers designs for new ships that combine technologies from multiple species. "Working together, we can build vessels that are far superior to anything we could create alone," she told them. High Commander Vrex, who had spent the past year on Earth as a diplomatic guest, watched the proceedings with wonder. His time among humans had changed him profoundly. "I once thought your mercy was weakness," he told Admiral Bell during a quiet moment. "Now I see it was your greatest strength." Bell nodded. "Humans learned long ago that cooperation achieves more than conflict. We didn't defeat the Moraxis because we were stronger. We won because we approached problems differently." As Carol Bennett signed the final agreement alongside representatives from all participating worlds, Cheers erupted throughout the chamber. For the first time in galactic history, a true alliance of equals had been formed, not through conquest, but through mutual respect. Today marks the beginning of a new era, Carol announced, one where different species contribute their unique strengths for the benefit of all. High Counselor Draz added his signature last. The Moraxis have always believed that the natural order is for the strong to rule the weak, he said. The humans have taught us a better way. That true strength comes from combining our different abilities. As the ceremony concluded, Draz approached Ambassador Bennett. Your species created something we never could have imagined, a galaxy where predator and prey work together. Carol smiled. That's the human way. We've never been the strongest, but we've always been the best at building connections and finding common ground. Throughout the galaxy, former enemies began working together. Trade routes opened, cultural exchanges flourished, and joint defense pacts ensured peace. Humanity, the species that apex predators had once dismissed as insignificant, had transformed the order of two galaxies not through force, but through their unique ability to adapt, innovate, and bring others together, proving that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe isn't strength, but the ability to turn enemies into allies.